So it sounds like we need to do sort of a circle back and check in and see how everything is going. And it sounds like from talking to Daisy earlier that you guys are feeling uncertain. That's fine. So we can just talk about where you are and straighten you out. Because from my perspective, it has sounded like you guys are moving and about to be done with the hard part and ready to do the fun part. Um,
Yeah.
So, and I will say, I don't know if it's true in every research project that's sort of led by somebody learning how to do it, but it's very common, like in PhD students, that at some point during the program, they're convinced that they should just quit. And it's not because they are afraid of working hard. It's because there's some point where you just sort of have a crisis of confidence and something. And it always it happens to every single person. Like it happened to me, it happened to all my colleagues. Like it's a weird thing. And so I kind of wonder if that happens in every research project that isn't like fully scripted from start to finish. You know, like when you write a grant, you have to sort of say what you're going to do. But if you're just like, we're going to do this, you might get to something and then suddenly be like, I don't know what we're doing and why are we doing it and what is even the point, and I'm going to go sit in the park instead. So like I think it could be, so just to acknowledge that sometimes in the research process there's this point where you're like suddenly lost for no predictable reason. So from the outsider perspective, you guys seem like you were moving and grooving. So I know that you guys did you did data abstraction, which I'll look in that, and then you also did the meeting last week for the committee members. um, let's see, you have data compile. Wait, no, editable for everyone. Is that the right place to go? Okay, so does anyone want to describe their confusion about what we're doing or their clarity? Do we remember sort of the overarching effort here?
I think where we um last left off, I'm not gonna be as good as explaining as Jet does,
Okay.
um, but if you go to the California hourly mean wage spreadsheet, we have a summation of emissions tab now. I don't know if you've seen that already.
No. Oh, wait, yes, I did, but it didn't have the numbers yet. Very cool.
So Jen shared the actual values of
Yeah.
emissions thing with us. So we just went in and did all the values, and that's where we are currently. I'm not really sure how we're proceeding, and I think that's maybe a Jen question.
No, well, this is good. This is great. This is what I mean. You guys have done like the hard part and now you've reached the point. Okay. So now you've got all this data. Now you're not sure what to do. Is that right? Am I characterizing correctly?
Yes,
Yeah.
unless Jen has another idea.
And anybody else want to say where they are
Yeah, Helen,
mentally?
can you share the screen and the other kits that really confirm what we are talking about?
I mean, like I'm looking at this and it looks like, for example, right, like so if I look at Richards right there in the middle, you can say now that for building cleaning workers, the chemical with the highest tons per day that they're exposed to is tetrachloroethylene, right? So this is what you guys can do now. So now I think that the reason that you're a little bit confused maybe, but it looks great. And so now you can see that you can take what was a use, you can really characterize it. So the other thing you can do is, so now you're ready to just interpret, I think, before you move on. And so you can should just interpret the data here. You know, you can say the jobs that we looked at, blah, 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 with the top chemicals, what we found were, and then just describe it. Like for assemblers and fabricators, the highest emission exposure was tetrachloroethylene. And that seems to be true for a lot of them, actually, that it's, but not here. Like here, you've got office and administrative support occupations. The highest exposure seems to be to diethylamine. So so there's that, right? You can now look at how much people are exposed to and how they differ and like, you know, how that, what you think of that, like with like metal workers and plastic workers, you might think have really high emissions, sort of like, but as it turns out with VOCs, they don't. they probably have it with some other chemical. That's the difference. Like a metal worker probably has a lot of exposure to metals, and whatever they're using for plastics, it's not these. And retail workers have very little exposure to things, whereas personal care workers. So you could think about like which what happened to the group names here? So you can do all these, so you can interpret all of these. And so that's super interesting. So I think that maybe you're feeling a little bit lost because you've completed a whole subsection of what you plan to do. Jin, do you want to, we were just sort of talking through like where people feel lost and where they don't feel lost. What has worked so far? And I was saying that often in research projects where they're not fully laid out ahead of time, you enter a phase like this where you just think it's not worth it and you don't know what's happening and you just want to quit. And we observe this in PhD students always, like in between like passing the quals and finishing the dissertation, writing it up, there's some period where they decide that it would be better just to chuck it all away. And everybody, and it's unclear why, but it's like a crisis moment. So like maybe you guys are in your crisis moment, maybe you're not, but it's not unusual. So for you, where are you guys, or for the
Um,
project, like since you've been sort of synthesizing how people have been feeling and where people are confused?
it seems like most of us were honestly following rather well.
Yeah, you
At
guys have done a
least,
great job.
yeah, like we've done great. We've done the data that we wanted to look at.
Hmm.
Now it's just a matter of really looking at it and identifying those groups
Hmm.
we want to look at.
Yeah.
So the next step I had and thought was we identify those groups, and I figured we could have multiple ways to look at those numbers.
Hmm.
So I was thinking this for like the past 2 hours. But I was thinking we could have we can split up into like three groups, and then we could look at it by some of them, be like look at the top three chemicals or what we would categorize as most toxic, and
Hmm.
maybe look into is whoever is most exposed to that, or we could look at pure total emissions that way. We could have one group just look at pure total emissions and choose like the top five or how many groups we have to look at and obviously what I mean by look at, it's not obvious. But what I mean by look at is go get the demographics from BLS for those industries that are a part of those groups. And that was the third. I think I wanted the third to like rank each chemical and look at it that way for each group, see which one's like the top. But that's where I was at so far. I was also meaning to make a database for the total emissions so it's easier to look at so that's also spread out. But that's currently where my brain was at.
Yeah, I mean, I think that seems pretty good. Like, I think that you guys have done almost all the hard part. It sounded like the committee went
All right.
than you hoped it would.
Oh, the committee is taking a very long time.
I mean, you also could decide that, I'm just looking at the committee, you have a list of occupations that need to be gone through, is that right?
Yes, and oh, if I can
You've
find
gone
them.
through some of them.
Yes, I think we got through roughly. Okay, so committee took a while, right?
Committees
So
always
this,
do. Yeah.
oh yeah, no, like I think we were getting a little frustrated with how long it was taking, but I was just kind of harping quality over quantity. Yeah, we got to about, wait, does anyone who was with us remember Sophia, Joel? We did we get this far? Is this what this is for?
No, I don't remember getting that far.
Right?
No, it's not
I
that
think we
far.
stopped here. We stopped at retail.
That looks like a copy paste thing going on.
Yeah, no, my brain was a little slow to catch up. But yeah, I think we stopped at retail. We would need to talk more about it. But we did have a few questions.
Yeah.
We had a big kind of discussion around first insecticides for janitors.
Oh.
So some of us were saying, no, there's no need for like raid and all these insecticides for janitor because they'll just kill it as they come across or whatever. And if there's an actual bug problem, they probably will call like the exterminators or something. So, but some of them were like, but don't they still might use like certain things like traps, like non-aerosols? Or maybe some janitors are just, maybe it's easier practice to just spray them down. So we couldn't really get
I think you're
into
all right. I
consensus.
mean, I think that like if it's like a big office building janitors, like where they hire like or UC Berkeley, like a university where they hire janitors and the janitors clean the building, period. And then they hire somebody else who does the maintenance of the building, and maybe that includes extermination. But then if you have like the apartment building on 12th Street, some random place, and you've got the guy that's a janitor slash cleaner, then he'll do all of that. So I think that it depends on the size of the place of employment and like sort of the structure. So, I mean, that is a true limitation. There is no right answer. So then you just have to decide, like if you were doing it where you weren't going to link this to other data, you could just say janitor, cleaners, small, large, and make two categories and split them. Because you can't do that, because you don't have data about the people beyond that, I think you just sort of decide whether in general, when you're not sure about something, how you've done it. Like you just want to try and be consistent. So like if you're doing it democratically, where like you guys just vote, and who, like if I hope you have an uneven number of people on the committee, and if 3 of you say include and 2 of you say don't include, then you include it. You could just do it that way. I mean, like again, these like expert committees are really yeah, and sometimes what people do with these is if it's a disagreement, though, then say you have 4 people on, then you have a chair that decides. It's just like any other democratic process. So you all get to vote, and if you don't agree, then Jen, you get to decide.
All right,
You guys
okay.
decide that ahead of time. So that's the way that's why committee both takes a long time and can and is a little bit subjective, but that's what expert committees are.
All right, okay. I think we generally had this idea of let's round up then down, which is why we included the various pool, spa, whirlpool, blah 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 under janitors.
Right. Because again,
So
you would have, if you were like lots and lot, like UC Berkeley does not have the janitor doing the pool, but the 12th Street apartment complex that happens to have a pool maybe does. So yeah, I think
mhm.
if you're defaulting to more inclusive, then I think that that's fine. You
Yeah,
can
I
say that.
think
That can be your part of your method. When we weren't sure, we included it.
okay, I think I like that. I like that it makes
Yeah.
this consistent.
Yeah.
So that was insecticides. All right. So we were also looking at, so while we were doing these before here, there were like these all other,
Yeah. What's that mean?
and it just means other personal care service workers, part of them that just aren't childcare workers, recreational, and like residential advisors.
Oh, it's just not like the, and so what are you guys, you're doing though, you are looking at personal care service workers, all other. That is that is what
Yes.
your intent, your miscellaneous, because you don't want childcare workers in this particular one. And so what happens if you click on all other? What does it do?
It
Oh,
just
oh,
it's not the best definition they give us. So I think the question came down to we're thinking of getting rid of all others as an occupation, but if we go here, we have oh I can't see. We have like roughly 10, seems like. We have personal care, building, cleaning workers, all other. So these
oh, I
apparently
see. You've done the rest of the categories, and then these are
mm-hmm.
all other. Yes, you could get rid of the miscellaneous category. The miscellaneous category of workers is also, for the most part, going to be the smallest group
Well, is it
population.
I was
You could check that like on one of
I
them,
could.
and just look it up. But I think that it will be, and those are the ones that are really the hardest in exposure assessment in any of these things, right? Because like we don't, it's a total miscellaneous group. It's a mix of people, like who knows what they're exposed to or not. Like, so yeah, I think that's fine with me to get rid of all others. And like I said, I think that they'll be the smallest group within that group. Like within personal
Mm-hmm.
care and service workers, all others will be the smallest group compared to like babysitting or child or whatever it is, childcare workers, rec workers, residential advisors. Because it's really just like whoever does, like that's terrible. Miscellaneous managers, all others, like that's no information on top of no information.
Mm-hmm. So then we'll probably have to get rid of them in the early stages here or here, because this is after we filtered it by 10th percentile.
Oh, yeah.
So that means we're gonna get rid of 10 jobs from here. That means 10 jobs will come from here. That means 10 jobs disappear from here, which then it's very early on, so it just kind of changes a lot of things.
And do you guys want to do that, or do you want to? Would you rather not redo it and just leave in the? I think you can do either one.
Yeah, I think it's either one, but I will leave it up to the group for
Yeah,
this.
that sounds
'Cause,
good. That's fine with me. And I think, yeah,
so, all right. Should we take a vote now? I mean, I don't think we have everyone, which sucks, but it can't be helped.
yeah, but you have a quorum,
Hmm.
and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you get to be the tiebreaker.
Oh no. Oh wait.
Unless you're going to let Daisy vote, in which case you have 7.
Oh, I
That's
think
fine.
Daisy should have vote.
Yep, Daisy doesn't get to vote. Okay.
Okay. All right, so is everyone aware of the problem we're having, and does everyone understand why we're taking this vote? Because if not, I'd rather explain and then we can take that vote. Yes, no, maybe. All right, if no one has a problem with this, then we're gonna take a vote. So the consequences that follow would be some of us probably. I have not decided who or how we're gonna split this up. But all other jobs are going to disappear. So there's 1, 2, 3. No, that doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 9 jobs. 9 jobs that's gonna disappear, and we're gonna need to fill them in the actual database that we got the data from. So some of us will end up having to do or work from the bottom up, starting from reassigning the product categories. So knowing that, one for yes, we get rid of. Actually, just private message me. Private message me, yes or no.
While they're answering, Jen, are you expecting to hear from Dr. Schwartzman about a contact?
Yes, but she said it might take a few steps, so it might take a while. So, and she's also out.
She's out, but she included me on the email, and the person, let me look at it more closely. I wasn't sure how looped in you were. She asked,
All right, I think well, the votes all came in, and we do have a majority, and we want to get rid of all others. That means some of us will just have to redo some jobs, and the committee also will. Yes, that's all right. I can do that really quick.
okay, I'm gonna send you, Jen, I'm gonna send you in chat Stella's contact, and you can reach out to her about she asked them basically that somebody from the project team from the Chemical Exposure for California Women's Workers website,
Mm-hmm.
if Meg asked if somebody could chat with you guys about it, and Stella Beckman is the one whose name came up, and
Mm-hmm.
she's wonderful. She did her PhD with Sadie and Sadie's supervisor, Ellen. And she's really friendly and really nice and really practical and works for California Department of Public Health. And so I just let her know, since Meg's out, I let her know that I was passing her contact information to you, which I have now
Mm-hmm.
done. So you guys can feel free to contact her and follow up, and let me know if you can CC me if you want. So proceed, please, with that. And she is a state worker, and she maybe did that as a state worker. And so she may not, she might want to come and talk to you guys as a state worker, which is like a little different, or she may not be able to. State workers, like if they do lectures, have to get them approved before they give them. And so if she says,
Oh.
"Oh, I'm happy to answer email, but I can't come talk to you," that's why, probably. But anyway, she's really nice, so hopefully that will be helpful.
Okay, okay. I think initially Dr. Schwarzman and we were talking like having maybe them look over our jobs and just the categories we assign to each.
Yeah,
So I'll kind of talk about it in that kind of
cool.
setting. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely contact her soon, very soon.
Yeah. Well, and as long as it's useful for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so then it seems like you guys are in good shape then, actually. Like you said, you just need to put that stuff into a database, and you have to decide if you want to look up more about those top tier chemicals and decide which ones are the most toxic, and then see who people are exposed, who's exposed most to the most toxic ones. But also you can do just pure total emissions, like what's the, like, once you've multiplied out like how many people are in each job, like what's the chemical that the most people are exposed to. You could do you could either do a frequency of number of people exposed or whatever works, but I think you guys are in good shape.
All right, so split into 3 groups looking at demographics. That sounds okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I can get the I can definitely get us started on that.
Okay. And we can check in tomorrow too. And then the question I had is about time, Daisy, and maybe this is premature and you want to talk about it offline with everybody, but timing for next week and what we want to do next week. We can, maybe I'll just say that let's do that. I've been invited to a writing retreat on Monday afternoon, so it would be great for me not to meet Monday, but I could meet every other day next week, I'm pretty sure. But like you guys, there's a little bit of timing, so maybe Daisy, you and I can just work it out.
Sure, sure.
I have some Zoom orientations for my son's new schooling.
College.
He's going to UC Davis.
Whoa.
Thankfully, not too far.
Ah, good and bad.
Good and bad. Well, far enough. Far enough, but not too far.
Yeah,
That you
so
wouldn't
yeah, we
hop in
will,
the car
because
to deliver things.
right. So it's up to this week how we progress, and then
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, we can always just like not meet on Monday and then meet Tuesday, Wednesday,
right.
Thursday. I'll let you know. Daisy, I'll send you my schedule for next week. I think there's 2 Zooms that start at 5, so that should actually be fine because we don't usually go for the full hour.
Right.
And then I have this writing retreat to finish up a report.
Okay.
So
right.
yeah, we can touch base as the week goes on. And so I'll plan to meet with you guys this week, tomorrow and Thursday and Wednesday. Chris Laboa, who's a recent PhD grad, is going to talk to you about his work. And it definitely is not related directly to this work, except for that it's about, public health and exposures. And yeah, it should be good. He's an interesting guy. He went with me to one of my chicken plant visits. And he also did a whole bunch of work, and I think this is what he'll be talking to you about, in Bangladesh in the chicken live markets, chicken and duck live markets, and what workers are exposed to. And also, I don't know whether he's going to talk about exposures to particulate matter or exposures to avian flu, because that was a big thing he worked on, was avian flu. So it should be interesting.
It definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah, and he's a really fun guy to talk to. I haven't seen him give a lecture in a long time, but he's super relatable, and hopefully will be good. But anyway, I'll see you guys before you get to see Chris. And I'll be up in Davis going to a different orientation on Wednesday, so that's why you get Chris. So I'll plan to see you guys tomorrow and Thursday for now.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you don't need Thursday, we can always punt. But
Right.
and then also maybe start thinking about in the back of your head, as you're pulling these pieces together, like let's make like a presentation of like the findings, and like just start thinking about that, and like when you're generating data and thinking like, oh, how could this be visualized, or how could we communicate this? And you could talk to Stella about that kind of thing too, Dr. Beckman. Okay,
Definitely need to ask.
cool. Well, then I will see you all tomorrow. If there's nothing, I mean, if there's more questions, I can.
I think I'm good for now.
All right. Anyone
Okay,
else want to override your leader and ask a question?
great.
All right. Well, good job.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing that I want to point out, Dr. Nas, all the Dr. Schwartzman, Mike and Sadie and all other people are very, very interesting to see that how you guys to arrive at or what kind of data you analysis. So Dr. Nose would think will be very helpful, kind of for us to help before the full research paper that we invite them and then to present so far. And then in order for us to do that, then we're gonna have a visual kind of data and what kind of visual graphs and what kind of whatnot. So that's what she's talking about. So I said, I don't know yet because we have to know what we are doing. So that's she really passionate to do it. So we're gonna decide next week. That's what it is.
I'm currently just cleaning this out. Seems like, so starting from here, it seems like the next 9 jobs or so, yeah, the next 9 don't have all other, and they seem like jobs that are not. So we're gonna be adding these 9 jobs. So I have 2, Richard has 2, Lily has 2, Joel has 1, Anne has 1, Sophia has. Alright, seems like they're just all over the place. So it seems like everyone but Alice is going to have to, and Ryan are going to have to redo a few jobs, 2 or 1 each. These are the jobs we have. Does any of them like ring a bell for anyone? Okay, wait, we have 5149s, 53s, 27s. Were there no troubles doing the summation of emissions? Did we all double check? Then it's okay to talk.
Wait, sorry, what are we doing right now? I'm just a tad confused.
So we're just getting rid of all others because it's really hard to assign product categories because they're include everything else that's outside of the big things.
Mhm.
So we're just gonna get rid of that, which means since we're editing something we did very early on, it kind of creates a domino effect of things we need to redo. What I'm doing is I'm getting rid of all other jobs so that when I
It's
go
all
to
the
make
green ones.
yeah, so when I go to, why are these highlighted? But yeah, when we go
Okay.
to look at the 10th percentile, it's excluding these.
Mhm. Okay.
No, that's where we did wrong. Okay, so good and bad news. Doesn't seem like it changes much of ours. The only thing we're adding are laborers and freight, stock, and material movers. So that's the updated. That's a little close for comfort. Our cutoff was 21, 27, 21, 27, 21, 31. Nothing changed. Well, something's changed. We're not gonna have the same number. Seems like we're just adding this, and that's 53. So I think, Sophia, you would just add this to yours, and we should be fine. Nothing should have changed. Yeah, so I was thinking about this wrong initially, but final thing is, sorry, Sophia, but you're the only one who kind of gets an increase. So you would just have this as yours. So you would just add it onto your groups. Yeah, okay, got it. You can just do it. Okay, so there's that. So nothing changes for us. I wanted to make a database. While I'm doing this, could we real quick switch? You know how I formatted the group numbers like this, 35.2 meaning 35-2000 becomes 35.2. Could we swap that all like to the same format like this? Yeah, and if any outliers come up to let me know. And Matthew, if you could just take Ryan's. I don't know where his group name went, but it's here under Ryan's. He should have 2 group names, so I'm sure you can figure that out. So if everyone else could do that too. So that when we make the database, it's just all in the same format. Oh, real quick too. I asked this earlier, but I'm assuming everyone double checked their work when you put in the total emissions.
Yes.
Yes, yay. Cause yeah. I'm sorry, I don't think I have the time to go through everyone's and check for you guys. So it's really on you guys for the integrity of the data. And then we're going to take like 5 minutes for everyone to input their groups. Just give me 1 second. Oh, Ryan had 3 groups. Okay. Matthew, how are you doing, Ryan?
Wait, I can't. I'm struggling to find where his groups are. Like which
Oh,
ones?
yeah, it's okay. I'll show you. So it's in the TPD total tons per day page over here. So over here he has group 31, 33, and 35.3. Huh. But yeah, it's here. Let me just paste that in. It has the 31.12 and 9. Yeah, so those are his groups. Okay, just the 31, 33. If you could just make sure these are accurate. Is everyone else done with their things? I want our groups to be in order of SOC, right? So is 31 the lowest? Wait, you have 2, right? Yeah. Joel, you had 3, so okay. And since Ryan isn't here, Matthew, if you could cover for his. Is everyone else here? Alright, someone can take that. I'll ask later. So it goes 2, 2. Do I have the right number? No, Joel, you have 4. So if everyone can just put in their things here and it'll be a database. And real quick, what I mean by total emission, I actually want this to be a value. So what you're going to do is do the same thing, equals sum.
Oh wait, are you sharing?
Oh, you're so right. This is the database, and you can find this in the editable for everyone folder here. See database. I'll just call it the database. It's California is just a given. It's here, so everyone can come here. We can all edit this and whatnot. So what I mean for total emission, right, is here. I'll show it again. Can everyone see? Do I need to zoom in? So just equals sum, and then the respective table, right? So what we're gonna do is like this, and then we're gonna put this in like this, and we're gonna do this for all our groups.
Is the other
So
spreadsheet, like, can we access it or?
yeah, you should be able to. If you can't, call my name. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Everyone had oh, I'm sad about that. But before we do all that, oof, I was getting ahead of myself. For the all other groups, everyone can see my screen. Um, get rid of all others and make according changes to group TPD. Well, I guess we don't need this. Yeah, we can just get rid of these. So we're gonna need to go back in and account for the losses of the occupations that are considered all others. So that means get rid of these, but don't get rid of them in the TPD tab just yet. So like for Joel's, so he would have to in his case change his chemical frequency and summation of emissions, because he's gonna have, let's say, 2 less styrene, 2 less diethanolamine, blah blah, for his 51 3000 group, right? That makes sense. So that means, who was it? Richard, you, I think you also had one, yeah. And Willie, Sophia. Yeah, everyone who had all others. Yeah, so Sophia, Joel, me included. Go back into summation of emissions and chemical frequency and just delete the things over all from group TPD, all other groups. So if we can just update that accordingly before we put them into the database, that would be nice. And I think Matthew for Ryan, he doesn't have them. And he thankfully did not have all others, nor Alice. So if you could just put Ryan's and Alice's into the database, that would be very helpful. I think I caught you nodding, so that's good. Right, so unless we have a question, I'll take the next 5 minutes to do that. And then Daisy, I think once after we have the database filled out, we can split up by group. If you get confused or like aren't too sure about something you're doing, do ask. Like, I don't mind. I'm always happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Wait, so we're deleting the all other category from the group TPD, right?
Group TPD, but before
Yeah.
you actually delete it from group TPD, make according changes to group TP, chemical frequency, and
Oh,
the summation tabs. And then once we're done with that, just feel free to put in the database. Yeah. Richard, how are you coming along?
subtracting the, what do you call that?
Oh, the missions?
Oh yeah, all the emission, like the other emissions
Are you on the
from
third? I mean, are you doing the second group you have?
I'm still on the first one.
Oh, you are? Oh, you already have
Yeah.
data for that. All right, I can take your second, third. I really gotta be going in like 5 minutes. You know, I actually think, AZ, are you okay if we just if we're split into groups tomorrow and work on it during the meeting time together?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I thought we
Yeah.
were gonna do that today.
Oh, no, I thought we were doing. I thought you wanted to split us into groups today and make everyone kind of do some things for the stuff, but I think we can split up tomorrow, and there's bound to be questions
Right,
regarding
let's do
what
that.
type of stuff to
Okay.
look up. Yeah, so Richard, I can help you out after I'm back. I have to run out real quick. But
Okay.
you can leave your third group to me. But yeah. Everyone, good job on the database. So next time we're gonna split into groups by total to look at the top 5 total emissions, those toxic chemicals and the most emission chemicals. So we'll do that tomorrow, and we'll look at demographics for those respective groups that we look at.
Great.
So yeah, hope you can all make it tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then.
Okay.
There's
Thank
still
you.
homework for now. Yep.